Why do recruiters fail so often? Check out this video right now, my top 5 most common reasons why recruiters fail. Hey, welcome to the Millionaire Recruiter. I'm Brianna Rooney, your Millionaire Recruiter. If you have not seen this channel before, it's all about upping your game in the recruiting industry. So let's get to it. Let's stop failing. Or do you want to keep failing to succeed? Yeah, you could. You could switch that on me. Remember, I have had the benefit of training lots of recruiters in my career. And now with Thriversity, I am really training a lot of recruiters and I see lots of things. So I'm going to say the number one is they don't get trained. They think they're going to figure it out themselves. I think that in general, the recruiting world and a lot of people entering the recruiting world thinks, well, what's so hard? You live on LinkedIn Recruiter, you send out messages, you get on the phone, you hear about people, and you send them on their merry little way. Okay. There is a whole science to stuff. Just like there is a science to be a candidate, to really get your name out there, there's a whole science to being a recruiter, getting your name out there, making sure your LinkedIn's all spick and spanny. Don't even get me started. You need to get trained, which is also why I would love for you to look on Thriversity for sure. Of course, link is below. Number 2, they don't slow down. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy recruiters. You have to slow down to speed up, right? Let's say it again. You have to slow down to speed up. So, no, seriously, that you are going too fast, especially sourcers. Sources are trying to get through as many profiles as we want. Now, in the course, I am making sure that you are timing yourself because you do need to be efficient and go speedy. However, let's not get sloppy. Now, if you're sending out messages to candidates willy-nilly and perhaps too many of them are the ones that aren't on target for you, and guess what? You need to slow down because now you're just wasting emails and those are expensive. Lots of times I will see people just with tons of errors, grammatical errors. It kills me. So of course I always tell you, have that Grammarly extension on there, but also if you slow down, you're not going to have them. So best practice, do not send out an email, any message anywhere until you reread it. I know that that's like, well, that's really slowing things down. No, trust me, it's worth it. So many times I've got so many thoughts going on up in my head that even though I'm typing something out, my thought comes out through my fingers. I'm like, how did that happen? That's not even what I was typing about. So it happens all the time. It happens to the best of us. So always read, okay? Number 3, the third reason why recruiters fail is they don't do their homework. Listen, you can fake it till you make it as much as you want, but guess what? You're going to run out of time there. Like you have to actually do your homework. You have to learn. You have to immerse yourself in the industry. You have to know market trends. You have to read your news, especially if you're a tech recruiter, because that one's my genius. You're a tech recruiter and you're not subscribing to certain, news feeds, blogs and stuff like that. You're failing. It's not happening. You're not going to learn fast enough and and then when you do learn, you're not going to be able to keep up. So lots of times people say, well, but I don't have time to listen to a podcast or I don't have time to read this article about layoffs. I'm sorry. That's about layoffs. Like that's about the trends in the market. That's where you can go get candidates. Like these are all very important conversations to have. And if you don't have the knowledge, you can't have them. And you can't go source on the people that just had layoffs. And then you can think about, wait a minute, this company had layoffs. Is this particular industry in trouble? Maybe, right? So number 4, the 4th reasons why recruiters fail is they don't spend time building relationships. They're constantly looking for that shiny penny. And I think a lot of times that's why recruiters get a bad rep is because everyone thinks we're sales people. Okay. There's definitely sales aspect to things, right? Because it is a numbers game and that's definitely related to sales. But if you are constantly looking for that shiny penny, you are going to be constantly let down. And then you're constantly going to have to be building up your network. So the whole thing about being a recruiter is to harness and build and milk your network. That's what's super important. And that takes time. People aren't going to trust you as much. The more relationship you build, the more time, the slowdown to get back to people, those messages, those more thoughtful, genuine messages, the better you do with building relationship. Okay. Now, I think of a really quick story here. I had a candidate that I wanted to place so bad. I was so excited. I got their resume, and then he goes, Brand, I'm sorry. I'm not looking. I'm cool. I'm good. I was like, oh, but you were my shiny new penny. Okay. So then I was like, all right, no, I totally get it. Like, keep in touch. So I had constant reminders to get back to this person, because it's like, you see that resume once, I'm like, I know I'm going to see it again, right? Like, I know he's going to tell me any moment, that his manager yelled at him and now he's ready to look. It didn't happen. But guess what? I did reach out every month. I did say, hey, what's going on? I did, all of those things. And we ended up building a relationship. And this is the funny thing. I've actually have known this person for almost 14 years. So it was one of my first candidates. And this is why I learned this early on. You need to build relationships. One of my first candidates, I didn't end up placing that person until probably 8 years later. That's crazy. And I'm happy that that happened, because that showed me how I could build that relationship. And that person referred me to so many candidates and companies. I have plenty of made my money off of that one relationship, as opposed to making it a shiny penny. Yay me. All right, the fifth reason why I feel like recruiters fail is they think closing a candidate is all about them. Listen, we're not selling cars here. People are not cars. This is definitely a person, and this is one of the biggest aspects of their entire life, their career. If you think it's all about you, then you're one, in this for the wrong reason, and two, you're going to be mistaken and you're not going to like it. So very rarely now does it happen when you call to extend an offer to someone that they accept on the spot. Those days are over. Yes, did it happen? Yes, it did. But you have to start that closing relationship from the beginning. I talk about that a lot. And I talk about, really it's important to grasp who they are, find out their motivators, and then make sure that you're really keeping track of their motivators throughout the entire process. So then when you do go to close, you have, one, a lot of information, but also hopefully you're using all of your resources, which what hiring manager they related to the most. What interviewer they liked the most and they want to work with the most. So by that relationship and asking those questions, you're now going to tap on the shoulder of, hello, hiring manager that this candidate likes the most. They need to hear from you. Like, you are what's going to help close this deal. So closing the candidate, again, is not about you being this persuasive, amazing recruiter, although there's a little bit of that, but it's you figuring out the other things that makes a candidate tick, the other people that really are going to make a big impact on that person, and using that. That's how you can do it. So let's recap really quickly, because I do not want you recruiters to fail. I built a whole platform off of training everyone. So number one, you don't get trained. Shame on you. You need to go get trained. Number two, you don't settle down and you get awful sloppy. Number three, you don't do your homework. Number four, you do not spend time building relationships. And number five, you think closing a candidate is all about you. So I hope that some of this hit home for you. I hope that now, look, when you know better, you do better. And that's what excites me. And this is why I do those videos. So thank you so much for always tuning in. Definitely subscribe if you have not. I do this every Thursday at noon is when it posts out. I would love for you to also join the mailing list, which I know that link is in the details below. And if you have not looked at Thriveversity, absolutely do that. We have a lot of services now. Everything actually is out. We have our mini courses. We have our station where it helps you actually get hired, get looked at as a recruiter, which is cool. And then we have our mega course, which is 6 weeks, and it is instructor guided, and it is meaty and really a very cool laid down process for you from start to finish, and it can really enhance your tech recruiting career, full cycle recruiting career, whatever you need immediately. So enjoy, and also thanks so much for the love that I am getting on the Talent Takeover Unfiltered podcast. That has been crazy fun, and yes, it is unfiltered with Taylor Bradley there, and that will be there too to follow as well. So thanks for the support, and don't ever forget that money is a vessel to do all the amazing things you want to go do in life. So go live it. See you next week.